Welcome to the CADD-Solis Ambulatory Infusion Pump. The CADD-Solis Ambulatory Infusion Pump provides measured drug therapy for adult and pediatric patients requiring pain management infusion therapies such as IV PCEA, epidurals, surgical site, and nerve blocks in clinical care areas like labor and delivery, trauma, critical care, pediatrics, recovery room, medical surgical, and oncology. To power up the pump, press and hold the power switch on the right side of the pump. The power-up sequence will begin. Wait and watch for the self-tests to complete and the pump to beep 6 times. If the display is faulty or alarm conditions exist, do not use the pump. Return the pump to the appropriate department for evaluation. After the power-up sequence is complete, the first screen asks if you want to start a new patient. Select yes or no as appropriate for the situation. This portion of the training provides an overview of the home screen of the pump. To get to the home screen, press the No key. The home screen will be displayed. Notice the home icon on the screen. At the top of the screen is the status bar. On the left side is the reservoir volume icon. In the center is the delivery status icon. And on the right side is the battery life or AC power status. At times, the status bar will briefly display informational messages such as cassette latched. The reservoir volume value decreases as the pump delivers fluid. The reservoir volume should be reset each time the reservoir is changed. Color is used to display the status. The icon will be green when the volume is acceptable, amber when the volume is low, and red when the volume is empty. In the center of the status bar, color and text is used to provide information on the current delivery status of the pump. The colors used are green when the pump is running, amber when the pump is paused due to an occlusion or when a delivery limit has been reached, and red when the pump is stopped. Text is also used to provide more information on the status. Text examples include running, stopped, and paused. Information about the current delivery status is also provided by the indicator lights to the left of the screen. The indicator lights can help you determine the pump status from a distance. The green light flashes to indicate that the pump is running and delivering fluid as programmed. The amber light flashes when the pump is stopped, an alarm condition exists, or the battery or the reservoir volume is low. It stays on continuously when the pump is inoperable. The display briefly describes the alarm condition when the amber light is flashing. At times, both lights may flash. This indicates that the pump is running, but there is a condition the clinician should be aware of, for example, low battery or low reservoir volume. On the right side of the status bar is an icon that indicates the power source. Power can be provided by AA batteries, a rechargeable battery pack, an AC adapter, or a CADD-Solis communication module with integral rechargeable battery. When using AC power, the batteries provide backup power. Color is used to indicate power status. The icon will be green when the battery power is acceptable, amber when the battery power is low, and red when the battery power is depleted. The icon will indicate battery power drawdown in increments of 25%. After a period of time during which no keys are pressed, the backlighting turns off and the display goes blank to save battery power, except during an alarm or when an external power source is in use. Press any key except the PCEA dose key to turn the screen light back on. When using an AC adapter, the screen will remain lit at all times. The protocol title bar is located below the status bar. This portion of the screen lists the therapy, qualifier, and drug, including units of measure and concentration, if applicable, of the protocol currently selected for use on the pump. The CADD-Solis Pumps protocol library with the therapy, qualifier, and drug programming sequence is designed to keep you focused on the individual needs of your patients, not just the drug delivered. The pump displays the protocol title with the drug name at all times. Your facility may choose to color code protocols to help differentiate therapies. In this example, purple is the color theme. A change in the background color to black provides a clear indication of when a protocol has been significantly changed or that manual mode is in use. A lock icon is located on the right-hand side of the protocol title bar. This indicates whether the keypad is locked or unlocked. If your facility is using the CADD-Solis communication module to allow for wireless communication between the pump and the FarmGuard server software, a wireless status indicator will appear under the lock icon. The wireless icon has 4 different status displays depending on whether it is off, on and associated with a wireless access point, and finally, on, associated with a wireless access point, and actively communicating with the FarmGuard server software. Below the protocol title bar is the main portion of the screen. The name of the screen is displayed along with help text in blue font. The home screen displays the current values of the patient-specific delivery parameters for the selected protocol. These delivery parameters can be edited as necessary, and they determine how therapy is delivered to the patient. Use of color for specific programming values, green or amber, provides a clear indication of when a value is inside or outside the soft limits configured for the protocol. Green for values within the limits, and amber for values outside soft limits. The CADD-Solis pump uses a task-based navigation and programming platform. Almost all operational functions are located under the Tasks menu. You will become familiar with the Tasks menu as you proceed through this training. Understanding the function of the keys on the keypad allows you to easily program the pump and navigate through menu options. Here is an overview of the keypad. At the top of the keypad are the soft keys. The function of the soft keys will change from screen to screen. The soft keys allow you to navigate through pump screens and answer questions that appear on the pump display. For example, if the screen above the right soft key displays yes, you can press that key to answer yes to the question on the screen. The up and down arrow keys allow you to navigate through pump screens or to edit values. The top arrow key scrolls up through a menu or increases a delivery parameter value. The down arrow key scrolls down through a menu or decreases a delivery parameter value. Small arrows are visible in the bottom center of the screen when the up and down arrow keys are available for use. The select key in between the arrows is used to select a highlighted menu item. Most screens have instructions in blue text describing how to use the select key on that particular screen when it has other functions. The PCA or PCEA dose key allows the patient to request a dose if permitted by the current protocol. This key will be inactive if the remote dose cord is plugged into the pump. The dose key will be labeled PCA or PCEA depending on the pumps your facility selects. Pumps with a gray keypad will use PCA. Pumps with a yellow keypad will use PCEA. Your CADD-Solis system administrator will build protocols so either the PCA or PCEA acronym will display on the pump screen. Your CADD-Solis system administrator will also select a color theme for each of the protocols. Depending on your facility's policies and procedures, a yellow color theme and the PCEA acronym may be used to indicate an epidural protocol. The stop-start key is used to stop or start the infusion. The pump's programming and operating functions are protected by security settings. There are 3 different levels of security settings that offer different levels of access: Keypad code, Clinician code, Administrator code. These codes are customized for your facility by your CADD-Solis system administrator. During your hands-on training, you will be provided with the code that you need to know for your facility. Your CADD-Solis system administrator may also configure the pump so that you may use a key to unlock the keypad. See the CADD-Solis Pump Operator's Manual for more information on security levels. For this training, the code that will be used is 123. When a security code is required, the pump will present a screen on which you need to enter your code. To enter the security code, press the arrow keys to scroll up or down to the correct digit in the highlighted field. Press the Select key or Accept Value soft key to advance to the next digit. Once the complete 3-digit code has been entered, press Select or Accept Value. If an incorrect code is entered, a wrong code message is displayed. The displayed message includes the security level required to access the function. Press Retry to enter the code again. You should always relock the keypad after making a program change. If a security code was used to unlock the keypad, then from the home screen, press the right soft key twice to lock the keypad. On the home screen, press the right soft key to go to the Tasks menu. On the Tasks menu screen, press the right soft key labeled Lock Keypad. If a pump key was used to unlock the keypad in run mode, turn the pump key clockwise to relock the cassette and keypad. There are several accessories available for use with the CADD-Solis Infusion. This module of the training program reviews a variety of tasks related to the CADD-Solis Ambulatory Infusion Pump. It will cover how to start and stop the pump, attach a cassette to the pump, prime tubing, remove a cassette from the pump, change a reservoir and reset the reservoir volume, and install batteries. It will also review the alternate power sources available. To start the pump, press the Stop-Start key. If patient-specific delivery parameters have not been reviewed and the values have not been accepted, or the clinical advisory note has not been acknowledged, the pump requires you to do so before the pump will run. Review and accept the delivery parameters as outlined in the pump programming modules of this training. If a clinical advisory note has been defined by your facility for the selected protocol, it will appear after accepting all values. To acknowledge the clinical advisory note, press OK. Contact your CADD-Solis system administrator if you have questions about the clinical advisory note. When Start Pump appears, press Yes. A message appears indicating the pump is starting. The home screen appears, and the status bar indicates the pump is running, with text and the color green. The flashing indicator light changes from amber to green. To stop the pump, press the Stop-Start key. When Stop Pump appears, press Yes. A message appears indicating the pump is stopping. The home screen appears and the status bar indicates the pump is stopped with text and the color red. The flashing indicator light changes from green to amber. Obtain a new, filled CADD medication cassette reservoir or a CADD administration set attached to a non-vented, flexible IV bag. Clamp the tubing. Remove the blue clip if necessary. Power on the pump prior to attaching the cassette. This allows the pump to provide you with prompts to verify the cassette type, reset the reservoir volume if necessary, and prime the fluid path. Make sure the cassette latch on the right side of the pump is unlocked. Open the latch by pulling it toward you and down to 90 degrees. Do not push and hold latch down past 90 degrees. Insert the cassette hooks into the hinge pins on the bottom of the pump. Without holding the latch, swing the cassette into the latch position. Place the pump upright on a firm, flat surface. Press down on the latch side of the pump until the cassette firmly clicks into place. Lift the cassette latch handle into the closed position. If you experience resistance when lifting the handle, do not force the latch. If it does not latch easily, unlatch the cassette and repeat the process. Verify the cassette is attached correctly. Look left to right. The top of the cassette should line up evenly with the bottom of the pump and be securely attached. If an uneven gap exists, unlatch the cassette and repeat the process. When the cassette is properly attached, a message will briefly appear in the status bar to confirm attachment. The Set Reservoir Volume screen may appear. Press Yes or No as appropriate. Next, the Prime Tubing screen appears. Press Yes or No as appropriate. Finally, the Cassette Not Locked, Lock Cassette Before Starting Pump screen may appear. Insert the pump key into the cassette keypad lock and turn clockwise into the locked position. The cassette must be locked in order to start the pump. Always prime the fluid path to remove any air before connecting the CADD-Solis pump to the patient. Always prime the fluid path to remove any air before connecting the CADD-Solis pump to the patient. Do not prime with the tubing attached to the patient. This could result in over-delivery of medication or air embolism. To prime the tubing, you will need a security code or the pump key if the keypad is locked. There are two ways to prime the tubing on the pump. The first way is to power on the pump and then attach a CADD medication cassette reservoir or CADD administration set to the pump. This will allow the pump to display prompts, including a prompt to prime the tubing. When the Prime Tubing screen appears, press Yes to prime the tubing. The second way to prime the tubing is to go to the Tasks menu. Use the arrow keys to scroll up or down and highlight the Prime Tubing task. Press Select. Enter the security code or use the pump key to unlock the keypad, if prompted, as outlined in the overview module of this training. The screen will display Disconnect tubing from the patient, open clamps, then press Prime. When ready, press Prime. Or press Exit to perform this task later. The pump will begin priming. The screen will display the amount of fluid being primed. You may press Stop Priming at any time to stop priming. If Stop Priming is not pressed, priming will automatically stop once the pump has primed 10 milliliters with standard sets or 20 milliliters with high volume sets. When Stop Priming is pressed, you may choose Yes to continue priming or No to confirm that you want to stop priming. Before connecting to a patient, confirm that the entire fluid path is free of air. If using tubing with an air-eliminating filter, the presence of air on the vent side of the filter is acceptable. To remove a cassette, follow these steps. Close the tubing clamp. If the cassette latch is locked, insert the pump key into the cassette keypad lock and turn counterclockwise into the unlocked position. Pull down on the cassette latch handle until the cassette detaches. To correct a low reservoir condition, a new reservoir needs to be attached and the reservoir volume needs to be reset to match the volume in the new reservoir. Following are instructions for when the CADD medication cassette reservoir or the CADD administration set needs to be changed, as well as instructions for when only the IV bag on the CADD administration. To correct a low reservoir condition, a new reservoir needs to be attached and the reservoir volume needs to be reset to match the volume in the new reservoir. Following are instructions for when the CADD medication cassette reservoir or the CADD administration set needs to be changed, as well as instructions for when only the IV bag on the CADD administration set is changed without changing the administration set. Stop the pump by pressing the Stop-Start key. When Stop Pump appears, press Yes. A message appears indicating the pump is stopping. If a tubing change needs to be done, remove the CADD medication cassette reservoir or the CADD administration set. This will require a pump key to unlock the latch handle. Attach a new CADD medication cassette reservoir or new CADD administration set with a new IV bag to the pump. Use the pump key to re-lock the latch handle. The screen will display prompts to perform various tasks. First, it prompts to reset the reservoir volume. In this case, the reservoir has been changed, so press Yes. Confirm the reservoir volume reset by pressing Yes. If the pump prompts for a security code, enter the security code as outlined in the overview module of this training. Scroll to the desired value or press Select to reset the reservoir volume to the value displayed in the blue font. Press Save. Next, the pump will prompt Prime Tubing. Press Yes since new tubing is being used that needs to be primed. Follow the steps to prime as outlined in the Prime Tubing section of this module. The pump will prompt for a review of the delivery parameters since the reservoir volume value was reset. Press Review. If prompted, enter the security code as outlined in the overview module of this training. Review the delivery parameters and accept the values by highlighting each one and pressing Accept Value. When the review is complete, press Next. Review any clinical advisory note that may be entered for the selected protocol. Acknowledge by pressing OK. Finally, a prompt to start the pump will appear. Press Yes or No as appropriate. If you only need to change the IV bag on the CADD administration set and not the administration set itself, follow these steps. Stop the pump by pressing the Stop-Start key. When Stop Pump appears, press Yes. A message appears indicating the pump is stopping. Remove the old IV bag from the tubing and attach a new IV bag. On the home screen, scroll to highlight Reservoir Volume. Press Select. Enter the security code as outlined in the overview module of this training. Scroll to the desired value or press Select to reset the reservoir volume to the value displayed in blue font. Press Save. Press the Stop-Start key to restart the pump. The pump will prompt for a review of the delivery parameters since the reservoir volume value was reset. Press Review. Review the delivery parameters and accept the values by highlighting each one and pressing Accept Value. When the review is complete, press Next. Review any clinical advisory note that may be entered for the selected protocol. Acknowledge by pressing OK. Finally, a prompt to start the pump will appear. Press Yes or No as appropriate. If it is necessary to prime the tubing after a bag change and before restarting the pump, follow these steps. From the home screen, press Tasks. Scroll down to highlight Prime Tubing. Press Select. Prime tubing as outlined earlier in this operations module of the training. Note: if keypad is locked, enter security code when prompted. Press the Stop/Start key to restart the pump. This training module will review how to program an intermittent bolus with PCEA dose protocol. Traditionally, epidural infusions for pain control use the same method as an intravenous infusion, a continuous rate with or without a patient-controlled dose. The use of an intermittent bolus instead of a continuous rate offers another method for epidural pain control infusions. The intermittent bolus can be used with or without a patient-controlled dose. It is given on a program schedule that is determined by the value of the bolus interval parameter. These parameters, as well as others, will be further explained later in this training module. When selecting a protocol, you will need to select the therapy, the qualifier, and the drug names, and then enter the appropriate security code, after which you can edit patient-specific parameters and prepare the infusion for the patient. The protocol you will see during this training is just one example of a protocol configuration. Some facilities may choose to use profiles. Profiles contain a grouping of protocols. For example, profiles can be defined for specific care areas, etc. If your facility has chosen to use profiles, then selecting the correct profile will be part of the programming process. For this training, the code 123 will be used. There are two ways to begin programming the pump for a new patient. The first way is to power on the pump and press Yes to answer the question, "Do you want to start a new patient?" that appears on the screen. The second way can be used if you have previously powered on the pump and answered no to the question, "Do you want to start a new patient?" From the home screen, press Tasks. Use the arrow keys to scroll up or down and highlight the Start New Patient task. Press Select. If your facility has chosen to use profiles, the currently chosen profile will display. Profiles contain a grouping of protocols. For example, profiles can be defined for specific care areas. Press Yes to confirm that the current profile is correct, or press No to select another profile. If you press Yes, the Select Therapy screen appears and you can begin the protocol selection process. If you press No, the Select Profile screen appears. Use the arrow keys to scroll up or down and highlight the correct profile name. Press Select. Once the profile has been selected, the Select Therapy screen appears. Now you can begin the protocol selection process. Use the arrow keys to scroll up or down and highlight the therapy name that matches the physician's order. Press Select. The Select Qualifier screen appears. Notice that the therapy name appears in the protocol title bar. Use the arrow keys to scroll up or down and highlight the qualifier name that matches the physician's order. Press Select. The Select Drug screen appears. Notice that the qualifier name appears in the protocol title bar along with the therapy name. Use the arrow keys to scroll up or down and highlight the drug name or names, units of measure, and concentration that matches the physician's order. The highlighted drug selection may contain multiple drug names and associated concentrations. When the correct drug selection is highlighted, press Select. The drug selection is added to the protocol title bar so that the complete protocol name is displayed. If the drug selection contains a long single drug name or multiple names and concentrations, the text will scroll on the screen. You are prompted to enter the appropriate security code. Once you enter the correct code, a confirmation screen is displayed. You are asked to confirm that the therapy, qualifier, drug, and drug concentration are correct. If any information is not correct, press No to return to the Select Drug screen. You may select a new drug, or press back once to select a new qualifier, press back twice to select a new therapy, or you can press back a third time to select a new profile if your facility is using profiles. If the profile and protocol name is correct, press Yes. The pump will program the settings for the selected protocol. It will then prompt you to do a review of the settings. Press Review. A screen is displayed with the current patient-specific parameters on a clipboard background. You may review and, if necessary, edit the parameters for your specific patient per the physician's orders, or you may press Exit to perform the review later. If you press Exit, the prompt to complete the review will appear after pressing the Stop-Start key to start the pump. Any new protocol selection or edits made while the pump is stopped require a review to be completed and all the parameters to be accepted before the pump will begin running. For this training, the review will be done now. The first parameter is the intermittent bolus. The intermittent bolus is the infusion of a specific volume of drug at the programmed maximum delivery rate. Intermittent boluses are delivered at regular time intervals based on the programmed bolus interval. If the value displayed does not match the physician's order, press Select to edit. Note the blue help text on the screen. The Edit screen appears. The value is presented next to a green and/or amber bar graph. The amber area indicates the area outside the soft limit range. Setting a value in the amber area will change the color of the value from green to amber. Use the arrow keys to scroll the value up or down to match the physician's order. You can press and hold down an arrow key to make the value change more quickly. Tall man, short man numeric display is used to help distinguish between whole numbers and decimals. If the value you select on the Edit screen is within the soft limits, you need to press Save. If the value you select on the Edit screen is outside the soft limits, you need to press Confirm. You will be asked to confirm an override of a soft limit. Press Yes to save the value, or press No to return to the Edit screen. Now use the arrow keys to scroll to each patient-specific parameter and review the display value against the physician's order. If any value needs to be edited to match the physician's order, press Select and edit the value. The bolus interval is the amount of time that elapses from the beginning of one intermittent bolus to the beginning of the next intermittent bolus. The next bolus is the length of time between when the pump starts running and when the first intermittent bolus will be delivered. After the initial intermittent bolus is delivered, next bolus functions as a timer to count down the time remaining until the next intermittent bolus is programmed to deliver. The next bolus countdown does not begin until you start the pump. Once the pump has been started, the countdown continues even if the pump is subsequently stopped. The next bolus setting may be edited to adjust the timing of the next intermittent bolus as defined by the bolus interval. This can be done prior to beginning an infusion or during an infusion. For example, you can edit the next bolus setting to 0 minutes to immediately deliver an intermittent bolus. All subsequent intermittent bolus delivery times will be determined by the bolus interval. When the next bolus is programmed to 0 minutes and the pump is started, or when the pump is running and the next bolus has counted down and reaches 0 minutes, the intermittent bolus delivery starts, PIB bolus is displayed in the status bar, and the next bolus time immediately resets to match the program bolus interval. Because the reset of the next bolus time occurs immediately, the value of 0 minutes will only be seen if the pump is in stop mode. Here are 2 examples of when the pump will deliver the intermittent bolus dose and what the pump will display based on how the bolus interval and the next bolus are programmed. In the first example, if bolus interval is programmed to 1 hour 0 minutes and next bolus is programmed to 1 hour 0 minutes when the pump is started, the intermittent bolus will occur in 1 hour. The status bar will display running. Next bolus will display 1 hour 0 minutes and will count down as time passes. In the second example, if bolus interval is programmed to 1 hour 0 minutes and next bolus is programmed to 0 minutes when the pump is started, the intermittent bolus will occur immediately upon starting the pump. The status bar will display PIB bolus. Next bolus will display 1 hour 0 minutes and will count down as time passes. The next bolus parameter can be edited only when the pump is stopped. You must start the pump so it is running at the time the intermittent bolus is due to deliver. Continue to scroll to the rest of the patient-specific parameters until all have been reviewed. If any value needs to be edited to match the physician's order, press Select and edit the value. Once all values are correct, use the arrow keys to scroll up or down to highlight each parameter and press Accept Value. A green checkmark will appear next to each value you accept. Depending on your facility's policy, a second nurse may perform this step. All parameters must be accepted before the infusion can be started. Once all values have been accepted, the review is complete. Press Next. If a clinical advisory note has been entered for a protocol, it will appear on the screen after all values are accepted. Read the note and press OK. You may press Cancel and review the settings and clinical advisory note later before starting the pump. If you have questions about the clinical advisory note, contact your CADD-Solis system administrator. The screen will display a message that says, Cassette not attached. Attach cassette before starting pump. You can now attach a CADD medication cassette reservoir or administration set to the pump, prime the tubing, attach the pump to the patient, and start the infusion. Or you can press Home to return to the home screen and complete these tasks later. These tasks are covered in the Operations module of this training program. The Reports screen is used to access a variety of reporting and record-keeping functions. You can access the reports from the home screen by pressing Reports or access it from the Tasks menu by selecting View Reports. This module will provide an overview of all the different reports available to view on the pump. Reports can be viewed at any time, whether the pump is running or stopped. Therapies incorporating patient-controlled analgesia are configured with the CADD-Solis medication safety software to display either PCA or PCEA. Sample reports in this training program will display either PCA or PCEA depending on how the protocol is configured. To view any of the reports, from the home screen press Reports, or from the Tasks menu select View Reports as outlined in the Tasks module of this training program. The Intermittent Bolus Status Report displays the amount of time that has elapsed since the beginning of the last intermittent bolus and the amount of time until the next intermittent Solis ambulatory infusion pump can sound 4 types of alarms. Each alarm indicates a priority level for attention: high priority, medium priority, low priority, and informational. Color, sound, and text are used to differentiate between the different types of alarms. When certain alarms occur, additional information will be available by pressing Help. A high priority alarm is accompanied by a red screen. If the pump is running, it will stop when a high priority alarm activates. The alarm will continue until you press a key on the pump or correct the condition that triggered the alarm. You may press Stop Pump to clear the alarm, or you may press Silence to silence the alarm. If you silence the alarm and the problem condition is not corrected, the alarm will sound again after 2 minutes. A medium priority alarm is accompanied by an amber screen. If the pump is running when a medium priority alarm sounds, it will continue to run. The alarm will continue until you press a key on the pump or correct the problem that triggered the alarm. You may press Acknowledge to clear the alarm, or you may press Silence to silence the alarm. If you silence the alarm and the problem condition is not corrected, the alarm will sound again after 2 minutes. A low priority alarm is accompanied by a blue screen. If the pump is running, it will continue to run. The alarm will continue for 5 seconds unless you acknowledge it by pressing Acknowledge or correct the problem before the 5 seconds have passed. An informational priority alarm will appear in the status bar. If the pump is running, it will continue to run. The alarm is generally silent and will persist for 5 seconds in the status bar. If a system fault message appears, an unrecoverable error may have occurred. The amber indicator light will be continuously illuminated, which will be accompanied by an audible 2-tone alarm. To clear this alarm, you must remove power from the pump by opening the battery door and, if necessary, removing AC power. Turn the pump back on. If the pump passes the power-up tests, follow your facility's policies to confirm that the current protocol library is on the pump. The pump can then be reprogrammed for use. If the power-up results in an error message indicating that the protocol library was lost, do not proceed with using the pump. Return the pump to the appropriate department for evaluation. When certain alarms occur, additional information will be available by pressing Help. The Help screen describes the steps you can follow in order to solve the current issue that is causing the alarm. To access the Help screens, press Silence to quiet the alarm when it occurs. If help screens are available for the alarm, the word Help will appear above the right soft key. Here is an example of a high-priority alarm that has help screens. The alarm has alerted you to a downstream occlusion. Press Silence. Now press Help to view instructions on the help screens. You can page through all available help screens by repeatedly pressing Next. You may press Retry Help to repeat the help screens if you would like to view them again. When the condition that triggered the alarm has cleared, an informational alarm will appear. If the pump is stopped, you may restart the pump if appropriate. You have now completed this supplemental training program for the CADD-Solis Ambulatory Infusion Pump. You can see how using the CADD-Solis pump advances safety and flexibility for you and your facility's patients. With a minimum of time and effort, you can easily program the pump to deliver patient-specific therapy for a variety of patients and clinical care areas, including post-operative, labor and delivery, trauma, critical care, and oncology. This training is a supplement to hands-on training that your facility will provide to you. If you have any questions, contact your facility's education coordinator. Thank you for viewing the training.